WUSA 9 Weather Watch Alert is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Good evening, I'm WUSA 9 Meteorologist Topper Shutt. We're on the weather terrace, and you know what? We have some decent snow. We're not going to get heavy bands of snow, but we're going to get moderate bands of snow, and actually by, DMV standards, it's kind of a dry snow. Temps are mainly in the upper 20s. So it is fluffy enough to sweep. Okay, Tom, can you pan down a little bit? Come on, pan down. And, so it's not bad. Okay, I'll go this way then. You can see it this way then, okay? So if you want to stay ahead of it, just go ahead and sweep it. I measured, about 30 minutes ago. We had about 1.5 inches here in Northwest. So it is going to be really super slick tomorrow. We have a bunch of school closings already in, and I think that's a really good call. So, all right, Zach, I'm going to come on in. I'm going to kind of sweep as I go. If you can kind of just get this. Look at this. See this? It's not bad. It's pretty dry, again, for our standards. I mean, it's about as dry as it gets, really. A little slushy here by the door, but okay. So that's the weather terrace. We're going to come in here, take off the coat. I'll give you a little tour here. I'm standing in what was the old weather office many, many years ago when we first moved into the building, and the terrace was quite convenient. Okay, I have to get the flicker out of my thing here. So here's the deal. Between now and about noon or 1 o'clock in the morning, that's going to be our chance for the most accumulating snow. That's going to be the lion's share. I've looked at some snowfall totals just about 2 minutes ago, and nothing impressive. 0.7 at National, so we haven't had that inch yet. But it does appear we're going to break our drought of 729 days without an inch of snow. So that's good. But only the highest snowfall I could find was actually Reston. Careful, Zach. Careful, Zach. Careful, Zach. Yeah, Reston. They had 2 inches in Reston. Okay, so we're going to come over to the key. That's the BAM. Here's the key. And now we're going to talk about some totals and where everything's going to go. Thank you, sir. Nice job. Okay. We have not really changed this map. It really doesn't need changing. I mean, we're looking at essentially 1 to 3 inches across the board. And I mean, yeah, could somebody have 2 inches? Yes. I mean, for example, Reston already has 2 inches on the ground. They could get 1.5 inches and round up to 4 inches. But I think a general snowfall of 1 to 3 inches is about right. A little less, as you might expect, across the bay in extreme southern Maryland. But notice, this is mainly a snow event for most of DMV. And we talked about that last week. The Arctic air is here. And so it wasn't one of those cases where we're trying to draw the rain snow line or the ice line. So I widened the radar out, and a couple of things, okay? It's kind of like a conveyor belt of moisture right now. There's a little low pressure, but it's a very weak system. Has a little bit of moisture with it, but still snowing back in Knoxville. Talked to a buddy there. They have about 6 or 7 inches on the ground. I worked there for a time. So we're going to see some of these bands continue to move through. Again, light to occasionally moderate from now until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. I think we'll see flurries or periods of light snow up until 7 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. But I really think the accumulating snow of any consequence is going to be the next 4 or 5 hours. Okay, and we see it stretches all the way back into Roanoke. Okay, a little rogue band of moderate snow north of Harrisburg. So we'll zoom in, and what you're looking for here is blue. So the blue is, a little heavier snow. Not crazy, but a little more significant. I queried these areas around Olney. Essentially, it's snowing about 1/2 inch an hour, which isn't bad. It's not heavy. Heavy's 1 inch an hour. But, it's about as heavy as it's going to come down tonight. But we got a few more hours of this, so it's going to, back toward Manassas and Warrenton, you've got about almost 1/2 inch per hour snowfall rate. But see, if you get up toward Germantown and up to 70, you have a little bit of a break. And a little bit of a break if you go out Route 7 on their way to Leesburg. It's not quite covering the entire DMV. Again, it's not like a huge storm, not like a nor'easter that would just cover everything, but it's has very little upper air support, and so we're just kind of left with kind of moisture riding over cold air, which is essentially what's happening. So pretty good snows in Rockville, but oddly enough, as you go up past Germantown, there's nothing till you get back up near Frederick. Pretty good snows in Olney, out 97, Georgia Avenue, 108. Pretty good snows, at least till Rockville, but really pretty good snow inside and around the Beltway. And again, it's, a half an inch tops per hour, and then back toward Chantilly. Pretty good snow here, too, as well. So this is going to kind of continue in fits and starts for the next several hours. And this is, pretty easy. Weather Service put everybody under a winter weather advisory, which I agree with, 1 to 3 inches. So the difference is, and this does vary depending on your location in the country, for us to be under a winter storm watch or a warning, we need to have the potential of 5 inches of snow or more. And I agree. I don't think we're going to see that much. We could see 4. I don't think we're going to make it to a winter storm warning criterion. But doesn't matter. I mean, it's our first decent snow in 2 years, and it's very, very cold. It is going to be slick tomorrow. And that means on the roads and on the sidewalks. Fortunately, again, a lot of schools have canceled. All right. Before you go out tomorrow, if you have to go out tomorrow, please clean your car off completely. Don't just do the front and back and leave the roof full of snow that blows to your neighbor behind you. Don't do that. Slow down so you have plenty of room in front of the car in front of you in case, he or she skids. And then, have an emergency kit in your car. Now, we're not talking about a blizzard here. You don't really need that much, but you certainly need boots and warm clothes in case you have to walk farther than you think. And I had this conversation with my daughter today. So what else do you need? You need to check your windshield wiper fluid. You're going to be cleaning your windshield all week as it thaws and freezes and thaws and freezes. Have a scraper or a brush, and then, again, this is sort of better than an emergency kit right now. Just dress warmly with boots in case you have to walk somewhere. I think that's a reasonable idea. My dad would always say, dress for when you go in a car, dress in case you have to walk like 4 miles. You be warm. Okay, so this is a Futurecast, and this is a high-resolution model that updates every hour. And if you look carefully, you'll see like light blue here, but a little darker blue around town, and even darker blue, shade of blue down toward Culpeper. So that's where the, quote, heaviest bands of snow are forecast to be right about now. And it's matching up radar pretty well. And it kind of moves a heavier band up near Gaithersburg, across to Leesburg. That's at 10 o'clock, all right? And then by midnight, still lifting things a little north near Frederick and Leesburg. And there's a little bit of snow left, but it's light down through southern Maryland and D.C. south. And then we get into the 6 a.m. hour, and most of the snow, and it too is going to be light, is going to be north of town. There's going to be a couple of flurries, sure, and maybe a little bit of light snow. But in terms of accumulating snow, really, we have until now at about 1 o'clock in the morning. And then by 8 o'clock, this model keeps moisture in, and it changes it to a mix. I'm not so sure that's going to happen. I suppose that's possible. Some of the models are taking everything out of here, so the mix is out of play, which I think is probably more likely. And then just some clouds at 2:30, and that's about it. So here is the graph model. This is our local model, and it's pretty similar. I threw temperatures on for you. So again, darker shades of blue, a little heavier snow, and temperatures upper 20s primarily. I think temps running a little too warm in D.C. So that's 10 o'clock tonight. And then we get into 7 o'clock in the morning. It has a little bit of snow, again, north and west, much like the HER model. And it does have a little bit of rain here. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think at the very least, or worst, depending on how you want to look at it, it would be sleet or maybe a little bit of freezing drizzle. That's about it. And then by 9 o'clock, it still tries to hang on to some snow up near Frederick. Temperatures, again, below freezing, and then finally begins to clear us out, but not until evening on Tuesday. And the winds are now northwest. Those are winds, the arrows. So it's going to stay slick all day tomorrow. Temps will struggle to get above freezing, and quite frankly, north and west of town, you probably will not make it above freezing. Okay, here are the computer models next 48 hours. So essentially, this is the next 5 hours, really. And they're still cranking out, 2 inches, around 2 inches across the board, which I think is reasonable. That seems about right. And again, some areas might end up with 4 inches, but I think a 1 to 3 is a pretty good estimate. Now, this is the snowfall map, and it's through Saturday. So this is going to include our little Thursday, Friday episode. So that's why you see this band of 3 to 6. That's this plus the Thursday, Friday. And notice This is pretty unusual. These maps are pretty similar, European and the GFS. So again, blue 3 to 6, the white 1 to 3, and this includes what we're getting now and what we're going to get Thursday and Friday. So let's go through that. This is the GFS. So this is 11 o'clock tonight. It thinks around 1.1 in DC, which is probably about right because they already have 0.7 on the ground. And then we get into, say, 8 o'clock on Tuesday. Essentially, the accumulating snow is over. So 1.6 at National and 3 in Frederick and around 2 in Leesburg. So let's remember that. About 1.5 downtown, 3 and 2. So that's 8 o'clock. Now we're going to take you into 8 o'clock at night. So now we're up to 2 DC and 2.5 and 3.5 in Leesburg and Frederick. So that's the first storm. So 2 in DC. Now we take it all the way through Thursday evening. Now we got 2.1. So Thursday evening we get another 1/10 of an inch. Take you through Friday. Now we've got 2.9. So essentially the second storm is probably going to be a lot lighter than this one. The second storm maybe, I don't know, a few tenths to an inch perhaps. Even Culpeper, you combine the storms, again, that's 4.5 inches for 2 storms. So we're a long way from a well-organized nor'easter that can tap the Gulf of Mexico. All right, so this is the European model, and this is through 9 o'clock Wednesday. So this is everything. Essentially, it's 2 inches across the board with this storm, European model, okay? And this just updated a little while ago. Now we're going to take you through Friday night into Saturday. 3 inches, 3 inches, 3.4. Another inch, maybe. Now, that said, impact-wise, it's going to be slick because it gets even colder as we go through the week. So even though we're only looking at, a grand total of 2 to 4 inches between now and Saturday morning, it will be slick, quite slick. Okay, and here we are at 11 o'clock on Saturday again, 3-2. Nothing really changes. Good news for the ski resorts, you'll get a little bit more out there, probably 6 to 10. But again, that covers both storms, but the second storm will be better for our ski resorts. All right, so here's the European computer model. Here we go. This is Thursday at 7:30. Little different than the American model. The American model has a little slug of moisture by evening on Thursday, but they're not too far off. Maybe some light snow in Frederick by Thursday evening. And then it tries to build a little bit of light snow Friday morning. All right, and again, these are shades of blue that are very light, which means light snow. A little darker area, so by 1 o'clock says, okay, maybe a little burst of moderate snow. So this is 1 p.m. And notice it's snow across the board, even through southern Maryland. So there'll be nothing but snow with this system. And then 8:30, 8 o'clock Friday night, if you're going out, still some light snow and really, really cold. And then boom, we get into Saturday morning. It may be a couple of snow showers, but everything's pretty much cleared out by then. These might be what we call streamers on the northwest flow, kind of like a summer shower. Maybe a couple of those develop, and they can be intense for 15, 20 minutes. But the light snow is pulled out with the storm, and I use that term loosely because it's not much of a storm either. Again, both of these storms have very little moisture to work with and very little upper air support, which is a shame because if you're a snow lover, this is time to make hay with Arctic air. Saturday afternoon, we have some clouds, but we're dry. Mountain snows continue west of the divide, though, through the weekend. So some morning snow or flurries, and then just breezy and cold. Maybe we see a little sun just before it goes down, but we have a weather watch alert just because roads are going to be slippery. Your driveway is going to be slippery. Sidewalks are going to be slippery, so please take it easy walking. And then very cold Wednesday. We don't crack the freezing mark on Wednesday. And then Thursday, yes, maybe some light snow late. Temperatures in the upper 30s on Thursday. Now, let's go through the week and the weekend. 33 on Friday, some light snow possible. Very cold Saturday, only 29, all right. We make it above freezing on Sunday, but still cold, upper 30s to mid 30s. And then next Monday, temperatures go back in the upper 40s. And I tell you what, if you're a snow lover, and you're looking at extended guidance here, after we go through the weekend, we're going to turn a little bit milder, and our chances for snow are going to go way down to nil as we go through the next week, the following week. So stay tuned. So we need to make hay while we can, and we're not making much of it. So again, morning showers, morning snow or flurries, and then another little system coming in Thursday and Friday. So this system will be lighter than the one we're having right now. So 1 to 3 inches tonight. Maybe some folks pick up 4 total by tomorrow morning. Maybe another coating to an inch Thursday into Friday. And that is about it. And after that, it gets cold and dry, and then we get warmer the following week. Now, I'm going to have new model data in tonight at 11, and we will also have updated snow totals. Maybe by 11 o'clock, I think it'll happen. We will have an inch or more at National for the first time in 729 days. I think that's the number. For now, I'm Meteorologist Topper Shutt.